Here's my analysis of the number 17 Baylor men's basketball game against Kansas at home. Well, I will say this. In historical context, 15 years ago from yesterday was Baylor's first game as a ranked team, and it was a 5 overtime thriller against Texas A&M. And Baylor won that game. And I remember hearing that on the radio at the time. You need to look it up on YouTube. There's highlights there. And 5 overtimes in. And I will also say this. Kansas should never have been in the top 10 to begin with. You got beat by 23 at home. You don't deserve it to be there. Let's just make that clear. I get the 1-point loss on the road to Kansas State. But losing by 23, you should never have been in the top 10 to begin with, Kansas. In fact, I would have not put you any higher than number 11 if I had to. And you saw my top 10 on the post that I did because I was so busy yesterday. So you understood where I was coming from. I knew Kansas was not a top 10 team. But the media said otherwise, and that just shows bias. Let's just make that clear. Kansas shot better than Baylor in this game, 42.6%, but 5 for 19 on threes, which is 26.3%. But 5 of those threes came only from 2 guys. Jalen Wilson, 3 for 7, and Grady Dick, 2 for 5. 16 for 16 on free throws. You know, can't fault them there. 33 rebounds, 8 of those offensive. 11 assists, 5 steals, 4 blocks in this game. 15 turnovers, 21 fouls, 2 points off the bench. And they did have 3 double-digit scores in Grady Dick, Jalen Wilson, and Kevin McCullough. But I will say this. All those 3 guys combined for 61 points. After that, they did nothing. Next to nothing in the game. Let's just make that clear. Nobody scored above 4 points. And that only came from 3 other guys on the team. So, they basically said, we know you're going to get yours. We're going to shut down everyone else in this game. Here, I mean, now Baylor didn't shoot that great for the game. 37.1%, 23 for 62 overall. 9 for 30 on threes, which they made a majority of those in the first half. That just cooled off a lot, shooting the ball wise. 30%. 20 for 25 on free throws, including a technical foul on Bill Self. He was mouthing to the refs. I will also say this. He did get warned, it appeared, for getting outside the coaching box once prior. And there was a Class B technical foul on Adam Flagler for the game for flopping. Now, Baylor had 35 rebounds in the game. 17 of those are offensive. They were just killing Kansas on the glass. They were getting second chance points. Ridiculousness. 11 assists, 9 steals, 2 blocks, 9 turnovers in the game, 16 fouls, and 13 points off the bench. Those bench points do matter in a game like this. Now, Adam Flagler didn't have his best shooting game. 17 points on 5 for 18 shooting, 2 for 9 on threes, 5 for 5 on free throws, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 2 fouls. Of course, you need to cut down turnovers, but that's besides the point. L.J. Cryer had 19 points in it. Kansas slowed him down in the second half to 3 points, but 22 points on 8 for 16 shooting, 5 for 11 on threes, 1 for 2 on free throws, which I wish he would have made them both, but you know. 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 fouls. Now, Keontae George had another quiet game. I wonder if something's going on, and I heard a rumor. So don't quote me on this if it's true, because I don't know if it's true or not. He's dealing with sickness right now. 8 points on 2 for 11 shooting, 0 for 5 on threes, 4 for 5 on free throws, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 fouls. Flo Thamba, even though he had 4 points on 1 for 1 shooting, 2 for 3 on free throws, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, and 3 fouls, he impacted the game in other ways that don't reflect on the scoreboard. Not just in the scoreboard, but in the stats here. But he was plus 11 in analytics. So, now Jalen Bridges had a near double-double in this game. 11 points on 3 for 6 shooting. 1 for 2 on threes, 4 for 5 on free throws. 9 rebounds. 4 of those offensive. He learned out of West Virginia, and I know that. Trust me. 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks within seconds of each other. Seconds. 1 turnover, 2 fouls. And he does follow me on Instagram, by the way. So that's a wow moment. But just goes to show he appreciates fans. I mean, Caleb Lohner had 0 points on 0 for 1 shooting, which was a 3. 2 rebounds, but he had 2 steals in the game and 1 foul. But I will say this. Caleb Lohner might not necessarily be a scorer, and we don't want him to play that much as Baylor fans, but here's the deal. Foul trouble happens, and you also need to give a little break for Jalen Bridges, too. So, let's chill out. And he's a rebounding machine. He did good against Oklahoma in terms of rebounds. Remember that. Josh Uzuwuna only had 2 points in the game, 1 for 2 from the field, 0 for 1 on free throws. 5 rebounds in the game, 3 of those offensive. 2 turnovers, 1 foul. Now, Langston Love had 11 points on 3 for 7 shooting, 1 for 2 on threes, 4 for 4 on free throws, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 1 foul. I know Langston Love has been dealing with try to get used to the Big 12 again. Big 12 here, because remember last year he tore his ACL and didn't get chance to play at all in the best conference in America. So I just think he had some growing pains. Maybe this jump starts him for the rest of the year. We'll have to wait and see. Now, Kansas' road from here, not that easy. At Kentucky, that's figuring stuff out now. You get to host Kansas State, which they barely lost to by a point. And you get Iowa State at Iowa State. Iowa State barely lost to Kansas and Lawrence. Remember that. You get to host number 10 Texas. Then on the road to Oklahoma, that's 11-8. They're better than that record shows. So in theory, they could lose the next 7 games, which I highly doubt they're going to lose 7 in a row. But will they lose 4 in a row for the first time under Bill Self? For the first time? We'll have to wait and see. I will also say this. This is the 4th time in history that Bill Self has lost 3 games in a row. So that's another history thing. And the most recent was 2021. Remember that. Now, Baylor has Arkansas. That's 13-6. They're dealing with 2 major injuries right now. I'll get in a preview for that. Game later on this week. At Texas on the Big Monday, which luckily you don't have to travel that far for Big Monday. Like last week, you had to go from Oklahoma back down to home. This time, it's in the state here, and it's not that far away to Austin. The Texas is good. I know they are. Then you get to host Texas Tech. That's 10-9, winless in the Big 12. Then you get to play Oklahoma again. That's 11-8. Then on the road at TCU, which you barely lost by a point. So maybe you get revenge over them. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe. I see you guys later. It's 5 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.